Hello guys and welcome to my new video of Python full stack course for beginners. So let's get started. So in this video, I'll be completing the mini challenge as we discussed in the last video. So the mini challenge was to create a function for checking whether a number is prime or not, and then take input from the user asking till where he/she wants prime and print out the total number of prime. Now we have to follow some specified conditions. So the conditions are that the number shouldn't be less than 0. Obviously, if the number is less than 0, then it's a negative number and negative numbers are not prime. So we only want positive numbers. Now we have an exceptional case of 2. So 2 is the only exception, so create an AND condition for it. You will be seeing it shortly, but for now just understand that 2 is an exceptional case. Now the factors of the number shouldn't be anything else than 1 and the number itself. So it's very obvious that the prime numbers have the factors only itself and 1. Now we have to loop through every number from 2 up until and not including that number. You will know why I'm saying that. Now we have to check whether the loop numbers are the factors of the specified number. So what I'm basically saying is that we loop through every number from 2 and the number which we have specified, like let's say 5. So we'll go through 2, 3 and 4 and we'll check that 5 divided by 2, 3 and 4 should not be equal to 0. Basically the remainder should not be equal to 0. If the remainder is not equal to 0, then it means that it's a prime number, and if it's not, then we have to break the loop and we have to return the value in true or false. Now the creation of the function is complete. After that we have to ask the user till where he/she wants the prime. Now we have to create a while loop for so. We have to increment a variable whenever a number is found prime. So we are basically incrementing a variable so that we can check total how many primes were there. After that we just have to simply print the prime numbers with total number of primes at last. So let's create a function is prime and we have to pass a parameter number. And after that I'll define a variable that is it, and I'll set it to false. After that I'll check that my number should be more than 0. Obviously that my number should be positive and my number should not be equal to, now as I mentioned earlier, that my number should not be equal to 2 because 2 is an exceptional case. And after that I'll create a for loop and I'll go through every object from 2 up until and not including the number itself. So the range does that. After that I'll check that if the number modulus I is equal to 0, then I'll set is it to false. Now I'm checking that the number modulus the number in this range, like 2, 3, and let's say if the number is 5, then it will be 2, 3, 4. Now I'll check that the number which is 5 modulus 2, 3 and 4 is equal to 0. Now if it is 0, then we have to print that it's false, and if it's not, then I'll create an else condition. Now in the case of 5, the number is not is equal to 0, then it will make the 5 as true because 5 is a prime number. Now if you remember, I also said that if the number modulus the number in the range is equal to 0, then I have to break the loop. Now I'll tell you the reason why I have to break the loop. So what will happen is, let's say my number is 4, then the number in this range will be 2, 3. Now firstly the number will be 4, then 4 modulus 2 is equal to 0, we know that. So it will say is it equals false. But now if we don't break the loop, then the number will be set to true. So we don't want that, so we'll break the loop as soon as the number is set to false. And we'll create an elif condition that if the number is equal to 2, we want to set is it as true. because 2 is an exceptional case. Now if we put the number as 2, then it will show us an error, so we don't want that. Now we'll create an else condition. Now else condition will only work when the number is not more than 0, which means it's a negative number. So we'll set is it to false. Now let's return the value is it. So whenever we call this function and we put a number inside it, then it will return a value in true or false. Now let's try it. We can say print and we can say is prime and let's put the number 4. Let's try running it and it says false. Now let's try some other number, like let's say 7 and it says it's true. Let's try 3197. So it's not a prime number. Okay, so our function is ready. Now let's define some variables. Now we can define a variable number and we can set it to 2, because if we start the loop from 1, then it will show 1 also as a prime number and we don't want that. And we can set a variable times as 0. This is how many times the prime numbers have appeared. And we can set an till variable, which will be the user input. Now just ask the user till where she wants the prime. So if he enters 100, then we will show him all the prime numbers till 100, including how many prime numbers appeared. Now let's create a while loop. I can say while the number is less than till. So basically the number is from where we'll start the loop and till is the user input till where the user wants to know the prime. So what we are saying is that we are checking that if the number is true or false, means the number is prime or not. So if the number is true, means it's prime, then we are incrementing the number and times. So I'll say times plus is equal to 1. So we are incrementing times by 1. We are printing out the number and we are also incrementing the number, because when we move into the next loop, we don't want that same number to print again and again. Now we'll also make an else statement and we'll state that I'll just increment the number by 1 and I'll say continue. So continue is just moving to next loop, and after all of that is done, I can just print my final statement. So what I've said is I've said total numbers of prime till, concatenated the till integer in the form of a string. So till is just till where the user asked us to print the prime numbers, and we have said are the string times. So time was an integer and we have just printed out the string. So let's give it a try. It says enter the number till where you want primes and let's enter 100. It starts from 2, 3, 5, 7, blah blah blah, and then total numbers of prime till 100 are 25. Let's try something else. 500, and it says total prime numbers till 500 are 95. Okay, so that's all for this video guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like the video if you like it, dislike if you didn't. Subscribe the channel for more, and I'll see you guys in the next video.